Hello everybody, let's talk about today perimeter, circumference and area. Perimeter notation is capital P and it's the distance around the figure, and we add all the sides to get the perimeter. Circumference notation is capital C, distance around the circle. It's the special name. Circumference is the special name for the perimeter of the circle, which is around the circle, the distance around the circle. Capital A is the area, the number of square units it encloses, and we always multiply. Now I have a square, rectangle, triangle, and circle. What is in square, if you guys pay attention, in square all the sides are the same and each corner is 90-degree angle. The same thing, the opposite sides are parallel, and for example, this one, each side we're gonna represent with the S, the same variable, because all the sides are the same. Now these two are the same, these are length, and this is width and width. The triangle, it's A, B, and C, and I have a height right there and making 90-degree angle. In circle, this is a center, and the whole thing is a diameter. And when you check up here, that's the radius. Anywhere from the center of the circle, anywhere you go, draw a line from the center of the circle, it's going to be a radius. Okay, so let's talk about what is the perimeter formula for the square. The perimeter means, I already said, you add all the sides. So since I have 4 sides, I can multiply, and all the sides are the same, so I can multiply 4 by s, or you can just add s plus s plus s plus s. You will get the same answer. Area of the square is always s square. Like I said, multiply, and exponent deals with multiplication. Rectangle. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? It's 2 lengths. I'm adding all the sides. Since I have 2 lengths, so 2L plus 2 width. Area of the rectangle is length times width. Now this is a triangle. The perimeter of the triangle, adding all 3 sides, so A plus B plus C. Area of a triangle is half times base times height. So that's the base and that's the height. Radius and circle. So for the perimeter, like we use circumference, a special name, circumference around the circle. So there are 2 formulas for the circumference. One is pi d, or you can use C equal to pi r. Now there is I tell my students all the time, if in the question they give you diameter, so use this formula, so you don't have to change or the diameter to radius. If you, in the question they give you radius, then use this one. Both of them gonna work. So area of a circle is pi r square, radius squared, right? Area always we multiply. Okay, so these are my different formulas that we're gonna use in the questions. Now let's do some of the examples here. If you guys pay attention, this one example, this is a garden. The green that you see, a rectangle, that's a garden, and they are planning to place edging on the outside of the path. You see, this is outside path, and they are placing edging. The red is edging. How much edging material will they need? So like I said, this red is edging, right? So how much material they need for this edging? You know, that's a perimeter, right? So we add all the sides. So what is the formula for the perimeter of the rectangle? It's 2 length plus 2 width. Now length, you know, this is a length, right? This portion is a length, so I'm going to use a different, probably this is the length. This whole thing is length. From here all the way here is the length. Now if you guys pay attention, up here, that's the length of the garden, And I do know the length of the garden, which is 22 feet. But what about this portion? Like, do you see this? Question mark. Do you see this portion? Question mark. This portion is, you can tell that's 4. If this is 4, then that's 4. This is also 4, and this whole thing is 22. So we have to figure it out length first. So I have 4 plus 4 plus 22. Then look at the width. This whole thing is the width. And if you check again, the width of the garden is 16 feet. But the extra corners that we have, that's 4. So now for the width, I have 4 plus 4 plus 16. Okay, let's add them together. This is 24 and this one is giving me 30. Now I have my length and width. So let's go back to the question. 2 times length is 30 plus 2 times the width is 24. When you multiply, you are getting P equals 60 plus 48. Then per meter is equal 108. So we can tell we need 108 feet of edging material. So 108 feet edging material that we need. Okay, so that's how you do that question. You have to be very careful about the small spaces that we don't have a like it's not included in the length of the garden, so you have to figure it out, that part. Now let's go back to this question. This one is talking about, I have 2 circles, and the question is asking what is the circumference of each circle in terms of pi. So we are looking for the circumference of both pies in terms of pi. Okay, in terms of pi means you keep the pi. Like when you get it in the answer, don't plug in 3.14 for the pi. Just leave it alone. Okay, let's try the circumference of, since, did you guys pay attention, the first circle, the big one? It's giving me diameter. So what I'm doing, I'm going to use pi d formula. Okay, you guys can tell from here, right? Do you see diameter is given, so I'm using a diameter, so I don't have to change it. Circumference equal, the diameter is 15, so that's 15 pi. And so this is, they said in terms of pi, which means I'm leaving the pi, so that's my answer for that circle. Now let's talk about this one, circumference. Look at the circumference, this one, this is giving me radius, so I'm going to use 2 pi r. So c equal 2 pi and radius is 4. So 4 times 2 is 8 pi. So circumference for that one is 8 pi. Right? 15 pi, and then I have 8 pi. And in terms of pi, so I'm going to just leave it like that. Okay, let's do another question. That one. This one is asking, what is the perimeter of the triangle? Okay, what is the perimeter of the triangle? Now, if you know perimeter means I'm add all sides. So I can count these boxes right there for these 2 lines that are straight. I can easily count the boxes, and I can tell, I don't know how much is this, how much is that, but did you guys see this is slanted? It's not like you can count the boxes here. You can't count the boxes for the slanted line. So what we can do, we can use a distance formula to find the distance between E and G, point E and G, because this one we can count easily, we are good to go, but the third side we have to use a distance formula. Okay, so EG, let's try. First of all, let's count these and figure it out how many, what is this number for these sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is 6. So I'm good to go for those 2. Let's figure it out, EG. And I'm using a distance formula. You can use a Pythagorean theorem. A square plus b square equals c square. And this is your c. Hypotenuse is always C. you can do that, but I'm using a distance formula. So that, you know, if you remember, the distance formula was x2 minus x1 whole squared plus y2 minus y1 whole square, and you have a square root. So let's figure it out. Remember this, for the distance formula you always label. So I'm going to label all of this. I'm going to say this is my x1 and y1, and that one is my x2 and y2. You can do the other way around, it's your choice. I just picked these ones as x1, y1. So what is my x2? My x2 is 3 minus, what is x1? Negative 3. So negative 3 within the parentheses, and the whole thing is squared, plus y2 is 6, y1 is negative 2, again whole squared, and in the square root. Let's solve all of this. You know that negative and negative turn positive, so 3 plus 3 is gonna give me 6, and then we have 6 squared plus 6, and again they add, so 6 plus 2 is 7, 8, and this one is 8 squared, and again in the square root. Okay, so 6 times 6 is 36, 8 times 8 is 64 within the square root, and I know I got 100 here. 100 is a perfect square, so your answer is 10. So what is the distance of this hypotenuse, like the slanted line? That's 10. Now I can find my perimeter. Perimeter was adding all the sides, so 8 plus 6 plus 10. And it's going to give me perimeter equal 24 units. And that's my answer for that. Okay, let's do this example. Banners, we want to make a rectangular banner like this, similar to the one at the right. The banner shown is 2.5 feet in width. So the width is 2.5 feet. And 5 feet is the length. So 5 feet is the length of the banner. Now, the question is asking, if we round up to the nearest square yard, how much material do we need? Okay, look at the square yard. And the one they are giving me, length and width, is in feet. So I have to change, since the answer they are asking in yards, I have to change feet into yards. Okay. Now let's change them first, and then we'll talk about it. First thing first, what was the length? Length is 5 feet, and I'm changing this into yards. So that would be times 1/3, and it's gonna give me 5/3. That's yard. Then I have a width. Width is 2.5. So if since it's a mixed number, so if I change 2.5, then 2 times 2 is 4, 4 and 1 is 5, so I got this 542. Now I have 542 times 1/3. It's gonna give me 5/6 yard, and you multiply 1/3 with it, so changing feet into yard. Okay, now the question is asking, if we round up to the nearest square, how much material, square yard, which means square, that's area they are talking about. Remember, square feet, square yard, square anything, that's area. So what is the area formula for the rectangle? It was length times width. So area equal, the length was 5/3 in yards, another one width is 5/6 in yards. You multiply straight across, 5 times 5 is 25. And 6 times 3 is 18. So 25 over 18. So you can simplify this. You don't want to simplify, leave it alone. That's your answer. Okay. Let me do one more question. This is find the area of the circle in terms of pi, area of a circle. So area of a circle means A equal pi r square. in terms of pi, which means leave the pi. The diameter of the circle is 16 the radius is 8. Of course, you divide by 2, then you get, this is radius, for example. So that's 8. I mean, you can draw a line up here, and this is also radius. You can draw it here, that's also radius. Anywhere you draw from the center, that's a radius. Okay, so let's try and plug it in. A equal pi, this is, they said in terms of pi, then I'm keeping the pi, keep pi. Okay, or radius is 8, so 8 squared, it's gonna give me 64 pi, and I'm leaving the pi alone because that's what they want. Okay guys, so this was about the circumference, area, and perimeter of different shapes. Please, if you have any questions you don't understand, you just comment below, and please write your name there and comment below, so I will help you out with the questions. And make sure you remember this, read the question carefully. If the question has different units and that's what they want, then you have to change them into those units, so before you even try to plug it in the equation. Okay guys, have a good day. Bye.